Yeah.
Good evening, Pepper Krewe mates. We are happy to have you aboard with us on the ship. And tonight we have a very special guest. We have Seabass. He is with us tonight, all the way down from South Louisiana. Hope you all make him feel welcome. And when you do that, just give us a like, share, subscribe, and then leave a comment. We love to interact with comments. We don't get a whole lot of them because we're kind of a young channel, but
we like people.
We do like people, and we do love you. When I say it, I mean it. So what we're going to do tonight, we're doing the lineup, but this isn't the lineup from Hot Ones, with a minor exception there at the end. This was a gift from Seabass for Christmas. This was the Desert Fire collection. I think it's just from Walmart or something like that.
From Walmart, mm-hmm.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to try them out and roll through. So we're going to have, instead of 10, we're going to have 13 wings that we're going to try tonight. So without further ado, we're going to try to go as quickly and easily on these as we can, although Seabass is going to have to answer the gauntlet of questions. We're going to start off with Chili Company New Mexico pepper sauce. And the ingredients here are aged red cayenne, habanero peppers, distilled vinegar, water, salt, contains less than 50% of xanthan gum and guar gum. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
That's a good sauce.
Actually has good flavor to it.
No kick yet.
I got a little bit of that cayenne on the front of the mouth, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it now.
So, Seabass, you come from the land of white shrimp boots, Chalmette, Louisiana. What is your favorite thing about the parish?
I don't know. I guess it's the close-knit group of people. Like, everybody feels like family. I like it out there. You know, we got good food. It's good food, good people, you know? It's a parish.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a very close-knit community. And so, yeah, it's a lot of love there. And definitely a lot of good food. Rocky and Carlos is kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
So, our next sauce up is Horned Lizard Spicy Cajun Hot Sauce. Our ingredients here are aged cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, xanthan gum, citric acid, ascorbic acid. So we're going to give this one a shot next. 3, 2, 1, go.
I dig that flavor.
Picking up the cayenne more in that one than I did the last one. It's a little bit more, tastes like it's a little bit more aged, but not as much kick as the previous one. By the way, we have no clue what the Scovilles are on these so we're flying blind. But this one, both of these kind of rank around that Frank's Red Hot Sauce, 450, maybe 500 so far.
Definitely getting that cayenne on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. So Seabass, as a Saints fan, what are your feelings about the great one, Drew Brees, potentially retiring?
I mean, it's his time. I feel like it's his time, you know? He was awesome. I hate that people say, oh, you know, one and done. He was a one and done guy. You know, he got us to the Super Bowl with luck. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you go to, like, I used to love going to the games at the Superdome, and you'd look up and, you know, here we are, we're South, you know, we're like the, what is it? It's the NFC South champions. And there's banners all the way around because of him.
Yeah.
It's gonna, you know, to me, it's gonna suck that he's leaving. But, yeah, maybe it's time to find a new person to usher in.
You know, when you measure greatness in Super Bowls, you leave a lot of people out. And, like, I think of the likes of Dan Marino. Dan Marino never got a Super Bowl, and the guy was a monster on the field.
Yeah.
You know, it takes luck. I mean, yeah, you got to have skilled players, but to a large degree, it takes luck to get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. You have to have things fall in your direction. And there was a couple of times where things didn't fall in the Saints' direction, you know. So, yeah, I think he ranks right up there. So,
You know, I can complain about it and be like, yeah, we got robbed by the refs, but you know, when it all comes down to it, he's gotten older. His arms not throwing as hard. I don't want to see him go, but you know, maybe it's time for us to get another quarterback in there.
all right, so our next sauce is Fire Valley Garlic Hot Sauce. And so our ingredients are vinegar, aged red cayenne and habanero peppers, salt, garlic xanthan gum, guar gum, garlic oil, and then some stuff in parentheses. So I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1.
I can definitely feel it getting increasingly hotter.
You think?
Yeah.
I know it's
Around
about the
here,
same
it's
heat
gonna
profile.
No, it's getting hotter.
That's definitely, you can taste that vinegar in them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's I'm picking up the garlic on that one too. So, so you've been watching The Mandalorian. So what's been your favorite part so far? By the way, potential spoiler alerts.
Yeah, definitely.
Plug your ears.
Well, I'm on a Star Wars like fan page on Facebook, and we were tossing around what is your it's Star Wars Life, by the way. That's the fan page. They were talking about like, you know, how do you feel about, you know, Luke Skywalker popping up at the end, and a lot of people were like, I cried when Luke came out. I cried, you know. I was like a fanboy a lot, you know, when I saw the X-Wing, of course. And I was just like, oh my God, here's Luke Skywalker. I didn't have like tears until R2 rolled around him. And I was like, yes, the greatest droid in the galaxy right there.
Right.
You know, so they paid a lot of fan service this season, for, you know, the season 2. But it's amazing. I love it. There's nothing bad I can say about it. It's a great show. And it's catered to the like Star Wars nerd in me.
And what I've loved about it is you don't have to, they're not trying to force dialogue, you know, and I say it's shot in an old Western style. It's very much an old Western style show. So if you're into Westerns and you want some sort of break into sci-fi, The Mandalorian's the way to go. It'll definitely make you feel like you're watching a Western. So I'm definitely with you. So, hot sauce was there when I watched Luke Skywalker show up, and he saw me completely fanboy out. So I was right there with you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not fanboy over Luke Skywalker. I was like, this is amazing. You know,
And he
like,
still
yes.
looks the same.
Yeah. How did he
I
not
bet you
age?
I bet you that was makeup.
So this next one is Casa de Pepper's Tangy Tijuana hot sauce with green Tabasco peppers. So this one is actually made with some Tabasco in it.
Cool.
Our ingredients are green Tabasco peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, and xanthan gum. So very few ingredients. We should definitely get a
pepper taste.
A pepper taste from this.
I do.
And 3, 2, 1. Definitely a distinct flavor on that. Picking up the Tabasco right away.
Mm-hmm.
This got more kick than the previous 3 right off the bat. Still not super spicy, but I can feel it a lot more. So as a wrestling fan, Seabass, name your top 3 favorite matches of all time.
This is easy.
Putting you on the spot, son.
Yeah.
First 2 are easy
Let's see.
for me.
I'd have to say like Terry Funk versus Cactus Jack, and it was a death match. It was a Japanese death match. It's when they wrestled back in Japan. That's what started me back into wanting to watch wrestling again, because I used to watch it growing up. You know, I was his age, getting into wrestling, enjoying everything about it. But watching those like Japanese death matches is what really like solidified me going back into watching wrestling. Let's see. Of course, like Mankind versus The Undertaker. It's a classic. The Hell in a Cell match.
Forever immortalized.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite things. And then, like, my third favorite has to be Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam, when
He was
Shawn Michaels oversells Hulk Hogan. It is like the funniest thing I've ever seen, and it has to be like one of my high matches.
The kicks on the turnbuckle really got me.
Yeah, that was amazing. Because you get to learn a little. I mean, especially when that was still kayfabe was still pretty big,
Yeah.
and seeing somebody oversell it, you kind of get to see what they actually do a little bit too. Because sometimes you don't realize that when the Undertaker's doing a choke slam, that other guy's jumping, and doing things to help sell the product. And that was a funny one.
It really, it's hilarious, but it pulled the curtains back to like the theatrics of wrestling.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying it's fake. It's just,
It's still real to me.
Oh
man.
yeah, there you go.
Our next one up is sweet chipotle sauce, a delicious blend of sweet and spicy.
Ooh.
So we have aged chipotle peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, liquid smoke, caramel color, and xanthan gum. 3, 2, 1. Definitely as advertised, you get a smoky flavor there.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, it doesn't feel hotter than the previous sauce. That doesn't mean that it won't kick up in a little bit, but so what do you think is the most challenging thing about being a parent?
I think it's balancing my time.
Yeah.
Balancing my time between being exhausted, coming home from work, but still wanting to go, okay, let me sit on the floor and play with my daughter, but still have to go cook dinner, and taking the time to read books to her and just engage with her. I want her to grow up and be, a decent person, of course. It's just, as she's growing, she's getting this, wild personality where she could be sweet, as a piece of candy, and then, she's a Sour Patch Kid. I love her to death. I'm sorry,
Sour
baby.
and then sweet.
But, she could be super sweet, and then all of a sudden she's just got an attitude, and I'm like, and it's watching my wife, it's like watching my wife correct her, and then her sassing Steph, and I'm like, I want to jump in and stop her, but being able to go, Steph can correct her, that's just it, it's just hard to balance stuff.
So our next one is wild saguaro habanero hot sauce. So with habanero, this one should be a little bit hotter. Habanero peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, and xanthan gum. Now xanthan gum is used as a thickener. And so even though these aren't that thick, they use it to thicken the sauce a little bit. You ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Can definitely taste those hops in there. That was probably gonna bite a little bit. That's a hot sauce.
Yeah, that's got heat.
I would put that somewhere, maybe in your 60 to 70,000 range.
That's
from
hot.
Scoville.
That's hot. That caught me off guard.
Yeah,
So
it's got my lip all right here burning.
following some of the indie circuits of wrestling, who is one wrestler that you feel needs more exposure?
I guess to me, I go to a lot of Wildcat wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So of course Buku Dao, he's from New Orleans East. I'm pretty sure he's Vietnamese. He's a really good wrestler. He's the Situation. So you want the whole Jersey Shore look.
Right.
He's good. He's fast. He's very athletic. But of course, I love like Danny Flamingo, hands down, because he's from the parish. You know, he's the Dalmatian sensation.
Nice.
And I have to like rep him every time people ask about indie wrestling, because he pushes Chalmette so much, and he's a great, like, you know, just a great all-around wrestler.
And if you want to find a strong segment of wrestling fans, look no further than Chalmette in this parish. That's a very strong following around there.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, Ted DiBiase used to have, you know, I think it was, I don't know if it was Mid-South, it might have been Mid-South, was in Chalmette. They used to do a lot at, like, the Cultural Center and everything. I mean, the gym I went to, he had a wrestling ring in the back of the gym. Like, I was just goofing off at the gym one time, and I walked in, and there was a full-size wrestling ring behind the door, and I was like, look at this.
Wow.
And then found out about it, but just never got into wrestling like I should have, you know.
Yeah.
Too old to do it now, you know.
And then you got me into it.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that.
I was super proud watching you like cheer.
He's the one that got hot sauce into wrestling. I'd laid off wrestling for a long, long time. And in fact, I'm really going to date myself. I wouldn't have been able to tell you who Stone Cold Steve Austin was. I mean, I was like 80s, like Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man, Randy Savage.
He almost had a fight with Randy Savage.
Well, that's a different story for a different day. But the Undertaker was kind of just starting to come into his own when I finished watching wrestling. So
that's cool.
I'm really old school. So that said, our next one is Ghost Valley Jalapeno.
It's getting hot and I'm getting stomach cramps.
This one has aged jalapeno peppers, water, distilled vinegar, garlic, xanthan gum, ascorbic acid, guar gum, and FD&C Blue No. 1.
I don't know what that is.
Must be a coloring of some
Coloring,
kind.
yeah.
3, 2, 1. Not as high as the last one, which I didn't expect. Jalapenos are kind of low down there. But
Not bad.
it's a good flavor to it.
I would expect it to get increasingly hotter, but I guess it dropped down.
Like no bite at all.
Yeah. Now, if you were taken hostage, which DC comic character would you want to rescue you and why?
Batman, hands down.
Superman!
No, just Batman.
Superman is invincible except for kryptonite.
Yeah, well,
A little green stone can kill that dude. The only thing.
Batman would take the time to plan, go over everything, help me escape. Boom, we'd be on our way.
Nah, he had to petrify his enemies. I'm Batman.
Our next sauce up is Tumbleweed Teriyaki Hot Sauce.
All right.
Ooh, that sounds good.
This one has vinegar, aged red peppers, hydrolyzed soy protein, salt, high fructose corn syrup, caramel color, xanthan gum, citric acid as a preservative, guar gum, and it contains soy. You don't have a soy allergy, do you?
Nope.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. You can pick up the teriyaki flavoring in it. It's not an overly hot sauce, so.
Mm-mm.
It's more of a barbecue sauce.
Marvel versus DC. Who wins and why?
I want to say DC because I love Batman, and he's been proven to like take down the whole Justice League. So why couldn't he do that? You know, to Marvel, the whole Marvel team. Now we talking like the Avengers
I'm just talking about
versus Justice League, or
if we we could go that route if you want.
see, because
The Hulk would be tough.
that's the one thing I want to say.
And Wanda.
Yeah, I mean Magic's gonna beat out, but still, you have Batman going up against people like John Constantine, who was magic, and Zartana, who was magic, and beating them. Oh, man, you like really put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I want to say Marvel, Marvel because of definitely just because of the Hulk.
Yeah.
He'd have to find a way to neutralize the Hulk's powers because the only way to defeat him is to, get him to be Banner basically and defeat Banner. But still,
You don't think Superman could beat it out of him?
no. The more punishment he gets, the stronger he becomes. So
Thanos did beat the Hulk out of Banner.
But that is a movie adaptation. So.
I'm gonna go Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel. It's gonna be close, but it's gonna be Marvel.
It's gonna be Wanda putting everybody over the top.
Yeah, she's pretty powerful.
She could go toe to toe with Thanos.
This is going to be Texas red pepper fiery hot sauce.
Woo, get it.
This one has red Tabasco peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, and xanthan gum. 3, 2, 1. Taste the aged red Tabasco.
Mm-hmm.
There's a distinct flavor. Difference between cayenne and Tabasco pepper. Swallow that a little bit quick so it's hitting the back of my throat a little bit.
It's got a tingle all the way around my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I learned from my mistakes.
Who are your top 3 all-time favorite wrestlers?
You want me to go 3, 2?
It doesn't have to be in any particular order.
It's probably be Mick Foley. I don't know. Let's see. See, I could have went Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack. I'm a huge Mick Foley fan, so Mick Foley will be number 1 no matter what. But if I had to knock him back behind him, probably Roddy Piper.
Yes.
And then it's a tie between Ric Flair and Randy Savage because I really love Randy Savage. He was such a big personality, and he was but he's still not like Flair as a talker because Ric Flair, he's a good heel. He's a great heel.
He's still a good heel.
Yeah, definitely.
He's still playing it up.
But hands down, Mick Foley has to be my favorite wrestler of all time. It's the only reason I have a tattoo, of the Have a Nice Day smiley face on the back of my calf.
Yeah. All right. So, Howlin hot Mexican style hot sauce.
It's starting to get a little hot in here.
This is going to have vinegar, aged red cayenne peppers, spices, xanthan gum, garlic, sodium benzoate, and guar gum. 3, 2, 1. Yep. It's got a chili type flavor to it.
Like a hot dog and chili kind of flavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird.
I guess that's encompassing the spices. Hit the back of my throat a little bit. It's an interesting flavor, no doubt.
It's definitely got a little bit of heat to it. Nothing overwhelming, but it tastes like hot dog chili. It's really strange. It's a good hot sauce.
If you could change one thing about the WWE, what would it be?
Let the wrestlers write their own stuff. Stop scripting everything. It's pretty much the gripe of the internet internet wrestling community.
Let it become a little bit more old school like it used to be. Huh?
Let them shoot on themselves and stuff. It's great. That's why I like going to watch indie shows because they have a lot of control over their characters and they're not being force-fed stuff to say. Just like you were saying, Kevin Owens, man. Why should he be jobbing all the time? He should be up there at the top. Ricochet should be up at the top.
Yeah.
And Ricochet came in and got jobbed completely.
Yeah.
What's going on with Aleister Black?
Yeah, he's disappeared.
You know,
I don't know if he's
What about
injured. Or,
EC3?
I think he's wrestling for. Is EC3 wrestling for AEW right now? I think he is.
I think he went back to his old indie show.
yeah, I think it's one of those. I agree with you. I think they try too hard. You know, part of what made the WWE successful. I mean, you just had dudes hollering and shouting and tearing stuff apart. And,
Give me a stupid gimmick match every once in a while.
yeah, write a storyline every once in a while, but don't try to force a storyline.
Oh, what kills me is don't make it so quick. Drag
Right.
a feud out. Because back in the day, man, they used to just sit and feud for
Yeah.
like
A
months. Yeah, there'd be a pay-per-view, they'd fight, have to come back and keep feuding.
Yeah.
I think the stories are too short, and it doesn't grab everybody's attention the way it should.
Except for the Alexa Bliss storyline.
You loving that?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's see.
But
Let's see.
I would place bets that Bray Wyatt has done a lot in creating that character. I bet you it had a lot to do with him, and they've kind of given him a little bit of license to work it.
Yeah, rest in peace, Fiend, because he got burned alive, basically.
Yeah,
He'll
but
be back.
during the Oscar versus Bliss match last week, she kind of turned back into the goddess.
See, I don't believe anything anymore because I saw AJ Styles die.
Right?
Saw the hands sticking out of the grave and everything,
Nice.
and there he is. He's back. I mean, what's wrong?
What the heck? What the heck?
All right, the next one up is Desert Sundance Sauce, Garlic Habanero Hot Sauce. So this one is going to have some hobs in it. So it's vinegar, aged red habanero peppers, salt, vinegar, salt, vegetable blend, carrots, onions, and garlic. Xanthan gum, garlic oil, some stuff in parentheses that I'm not going to try to pronounce, and guar gum.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Doesn't seem quite as hot as the last habanero sauce that we had. It's definitely the kick is starting to kick in a little bit towards the back, but not too bad. So, Star Wars universe,
Ooh, yay.
the best movie and the worst movie.
Seriously?
We're gonna make Star Wars fans mad tonight.
Can I take your water?
Yeah, you can have it.
Star Wars fans are worse than wrestling fans.
I would say best movie, Wrath of Khan. No, I'm totally kidding.
Oh, you really set him off now. I'll be getting hate mail.
Best movie. I like Return. You can't go wrong with it. Yeah, Return of the Jedi is a great movie. Worst movie? Oh, man, it's hard. It's a toss-up between The Last Jedi and what was the last one? Return of the Skywalker?
Yeah, Rise of
Rise-
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
I'll give you an easy out.
I didn't like it.
They
Why?
had a Christmas movie that came out in the
Nice.
80s. That
I
one
just
was
didn't-
pretty rough.
I didn't, I just watched like a little bit of it and was like, oh, this is crazy. I'd love to find it, the unspeakable, Christmas episode, but
But yeah, if we're just going to go with regular canon, I can see that.
I hated them making Rey a Palpatine.
Yeah,
Hey, it's cool. You should have made Finn a Jedi, though.
yeah.
I would have rather seen Finn versus Rey at the end
Yes.
fighting each other than bring back Palpatine.
Yeah.
I was like, seriously? Palpatine again, huh?
I think that second movie just got it so messed up. I think that they were just trying to piece it together as best they could at the end. And it's like, okay, well, how are we going to get people back in? Well, let's throw Palpatine in there. And it just wasn't necessary. I mean, Kylo Ren was enough of a villain that he could have been utilized.
Maybe you could roll back Snoke.
Yeah, maybe Snoke wasn't really dead. But
Who is Snoke? There. Solve that, Internet, because I don't think anybody understands Snoke. He's probably...
I think we're going to find out that
died.
Snoke was a product of the DNA that was drawn from Grogu.
Look, that'd be awesome.
He died so quickly for being an all-powerful being.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was probably created, which means that he can probably be recreated. This is his Sizzlin Scorpion Fiery Hot Sauce. This comes with cayenne peppers, habanero peppers, Tabasco peppers, distilled vinegar, salt, and xanthan gum. I had hoped that there would be some scorpion pepper in there.
Yeah, with the name.
But it's got a few peppers in there. It's got your Hobbs, your cayenne.
It's gonna be a hot sauce.
Maybe. 3, 2, 1.
Where's the heat at?
Yeah, I don't get any heat on it.
My fingers are so greasy.
Definitely the hottest one was that first habanero one that we had.
Mm-hmm.
That one definitely lit me up pretty good. All the rest of them were in a fairly moderate range. Some of the ones that had Tabasco peppers in there had a little bit more kick. But all in all, it was a pretty moderate pack, and it tastes pretty good overall.
I mean, the way they made that one sound, it sounded like it was going to be like packed full of pepper.
Yeah.
Nope, it was just a sad, sad sauce.
Let's say that you were on a desert island, and you could only pick one wrestling company that you could watch from here until eternity. What would it be?
That's what's actually kind of hard.
I'd have to say, see, I don't want to pick anything. I'd go with like Wildcat.
Yeah.
I really like indie wrestling shows. I watched them have like a no holds barred match. It was, who was it? You were there. He caught a crutch. I watched somebody pull out a kitchen sink and hit somebody with a kitchen sink. I was like, they're so outlandishly ridiculous, but they're so good. The wrestling is very sound,
Right.
very technical. Yeah, we watched somebody get cut out. That was it. It was Shane Douglas, the franchise, versus Luke Hawks, who's like the head of Wildcats, and they went toe to toe and beat each other up. And I was like, this is great. And I think that was like his first hardcore match he'd ever seen. And I'm sitting there going, oh God, I'm gonna have to take him back to the house, and his mom's gonna kill me, you know. And then after the match, they were throwing the weapons out, and he ran up and he caught a crutch, and I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wildcat. I would pick Wildcat because I love Wildcat wrestling.
All right, now this one wasn't part of the pack, but since we're doing the lineup, we do have to finish with the last dab. Oh, it's got a nice little plug there at the top.
Ooh.
You ready? 3,
Here we go.
2, 1. Oh yeah, that was a mistake putting that much on. So you went to a dance on December 1st, 1995. Who was your date that night?
Lisa Lights, who's now Lisa Oates.
That's my wife.
Your wife, my child's nanny. You know,
That's how close knit that community is. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Oh, there's a hiccup. Oh.
yeah, I can feel it now. That's got my tongue on fire.
I went a little heavy. I'm paying the price. I'm glad I asked the question quickly.
It helps me like
I have to do that. It's got me salivating real bad. My eyes are starting to water.
Now, it's probably hard to remember all the sauces that we went through, but if you had to pick one, which one would you try again?
That first habanero one. I like the way it tasted.
drink some milk.
I'm gonna try to go with that. Just ride the burn for a little bit. It's got my My eyes watering.
They don't play. And yet your wife tried some earlier and ate it like a champ.
Yeah, no kind of like reaction at all. It's got my ears tingling. That's a hot sauce. What is that on a Scoville?
They haven't rated it yet,
Over 2 million.
but it's over 2 million.
So you just saved over 2 million. Let's go with hot sauce.
So out of
We
those-
probably went from the hottest sauce that we had in those previous ones was maybe 3,000-4,000.
Oh,
So that was
dying.
a significant jump up.
That's got my teeth numb all right here and right here.
And it's about a 5-minute ride. I think I'm gonna hold off on that Death Note challenge for a little while.
if you're dying on this one, I mean,
I
yeah.
can't wait to see you do it though.
Well, Pepper Krewe, we thank you for joining us. Seabass, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Enjoyed having our other crewmate Hot Sauce with us. And I'm Big Mike, and we're signing off. And laissez le bon temps roulette.